Welcome to Akhand Vidyashram, the first institute of impeccable wisdom, the walking, talking encyclopedia. Pancreas, the digestion of fatty acids. My mission, the impeccable wisdom, knowing which everything is fully known. My greatest discovery, Divyank, the divine design of nature with which the perfect objects are designed and created. Divyank is the reward of 60 years of integrated education. Impeccable wisdom is enlightening, and integrated knowledge is empowering. Let's start with the digestive system. I have already spoken. The prime function of digestive system is to continuous supply of water, nutrients, electrolytes, enzymes, and other essential things for perfect homeostasis and perfect physical, emotional, mental, spiritual health. Ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and excretion are the 5 different aspects of executive functions which we have already discussed. Then coming to the kind of digestive system which human beings have got is like birds. It's frugivorous or frugal in nature. It primarily depends upon vegetarian diet, nuts, small intestines, food, etc. And whole thing is designed keeping in mind that we are pure vegetarian, in tune with birds and in divine consciousness. As a result, maybe that's the reason we can fly to the highest level of universal consciousness like birds, unlike canine and herbivore animals. I have also talked about human beings are also designed with Devyank, deciduous childhood, temporary milky teeth are 20 in nature, permanent teeth are 32 in nature. This ratio is called Divyank ratio. And as far as roots are concerned, incisor got 1 root, canine got 1 root, premolar got 2 roots, and molar got 3 roots. 1, 1, 2, 3 is what is called Divyank sequence. Middle upper incisors, as you can see in the picture, represent Divyank, and that's it. Having understood, let's move on to the next stage. The first thing, digestion of carbohydrates takes place in the mouth with the help of saliva. Starch diet, which is cooked completely, is converted with alpha amylase into maltose, which is further divided into glucose plus glucose. The prime objective is when we eat food after a long time of not eating, we should not go into hypoglycemic state. That's the reason Ayurveda says eat slowly, convert the whole food into water, dissolve in the mouth, taste its sweetness and other things, and move on to the next stage. And one of the best examples ever given over and over is about gooseberry. You take a gooseberry, put it in the mouth, bite it, make it into ice, you can feel the taste sweet, which is not the taste of gooseberry otherwise. There are a lot of many examples which I would be giving one by one over a period to explain the real beauty of salivary glands. Having understood what salivary glands, now let's move on to the next stage. Taste and smell are also correlated in that, and that is also one of the reasons both smell and taste are closely associated with psychic aspects or the mental consciousness. Very thought of food, very thought of idea, very thought of this will make you feel one within that. And one of the Upanishads is primarily designed only with this taste and smell in the mouth, how it can be tasted, smelt, and done. And that is Chandogya Upanishad. And it also talks about Purusha Padarth. Human beings were not designed spontaneously, but they designed step by step to make sure that we do not have any problem whatsoever otherwise. From that angle, we will move on to the next stage, how they are associated and why we have single case study we can be done and conditional reflex. is one of the examples which could be taken as a living example of taste and smell, and of course everything put together, how they are closely associated with. Having understood that, let's move on to the next. Human stomach, as I told you, three systems in the body which are absolutely essential for survival. Whether you are conscious, unconscious, subconscious, or comatose stage, three systems should go on to make sure that human beings survive. Two systems for everybody is the gastrointestinal system or digestive system, because without water, food, nutrients, other things, you cannot really survive. Everything which is required for all the 100 trillion cells come to the body through digestive system only. So this has to survive. As a result, you have pacemaker in the heart, in the stomach, in the fundus itself. Second thing, as I told you, heart is required to make sure that whatever is required for the cell is distributed even to every cell that has. The third is uterus. Next generation should not die. There is a pacemaker in the fundus of the uterus also. I haven't explained that. Done. So from that angle, that fifth level of nervous system, which nobody talks about, I've been laying emphasis on. You have to understand the complete nervous system completely. I have explained that earlier, and I'm going to talk about it so that it gets ingrained into your building. The nervous system, this is important part of the nervous system. Formation of hydrochloric acid from carbon and oxygen. I have also spoken when we talk of the respiratory system. We do not talk of exchange of gases. We clearly talk about exchange of absorption of oxygen from the atmosphere for the utilization of 100 trillion cells. Carbohydrate plus oxygen put together produce carbon dioxide, and 61.803% has to be thrown out. The remaining is kept. And why it's kept? Because it has to be converted into hydrochloric acid in the stomach, as well as hydrochloric acid in kidneys. And that is what carbon dioxide plus water is carbonic acid, and converted into hydrogen and bicarbonate, and this is done. From that angle, this is very important part to be added as we move on step by step to the higher levels. And of course, issue of Deviank with the sodium and potassium and salts is also been highlighted quite a lot over the period. As I told you, the whole system beside the local part is also controlled by the autonomic nervous system, sympathetic and parasympathetic. Prime function for digestion, rest, digestion, and conservation of energy is with the parasympathetic. And there are 4 pairs of cranial nerves which are associated with cranial parasympathetic. They are third, oculomotor, facial, glossopharyngeal, and vagus. Oculomotor has no role to do with food, but facial, glossopharyngeal, and vagus are closely associated with this to bring the brain into the mind, mouth in the mind, stomach in the mind, intestine in the mind, and the entire system is so coordinated beautifully that we can talk in terms of different aspects of the nervous system very closely with the help of cranial parasympathetic nervous system. From that angle, this is very important side to know the role played by parasympathetic system for digestion, neural system, psychic, food requirement, and other thing is automatically taken care of. Now let's move. Prime function of liver, I have already told you, is exocrine functions, and the prime objective of liver is to produce alkaline medium, and after the same time we can definitely say bile plays very important role in conversion and digestion, absorption of fat and lipids put together. It plays very important role for keeping breakdown of synthesis of proteins and everything which is required to make sure that we can be perfectly healthy. That I've already explained. You can read it in leisure as you go back and move on to the next stage. Now, having finished that alkaline neutral medium in the mouth is for digestion of carbohydrates in the mouth to convert into maltose and glucose immediately. Digestion of protein starts in the stomach with the help of hydrochloric acid, we have already explained. Neutral to hydrochloric acid. Now we are coming to the third stage, alkaline. Fats or lipids cannot be digested in a neutral or acidic medium. They have to be converted only with the help of alkaline medium where pH is more than 7. Less than 7 is acidic and hydrochloric acid is 1.5 pH. This becomes more than that, and there again, coming to very clear part, carbon dioxide plus water plays an important role to formulate carbohydrates, which gets converted into bicarbonate on one side, and sodium and bicarbonate come to form sodium bicarbonate and is expelled as an active medium. And that is also something which has to be understood. So even for alkaline medium in pancreas, also hydrogen and carbon dioxide plays an important role. With the carbohydrates and hydrates, you can convert into hydrogen plus this and then go on to form water as well as active ingredient of alkaline medium to make sure that everything is done. So the role of oxygen, role of carbon dioxide, role of water and respiratory system is very beautifully brought it here. You can see in both things how exactly alkaline juice is synthesized in the pancreas to be brought to small intestines, and then digestion of lipids, fats can take place. So this is something which I wanted to make it sure you got to know that this is alkaline juice, this is how it is synthesized, and how beautiful is this particular picture. So having understood the process of formation of alkaline juice where pH is more than 7, normal pH is 7.4, and this could even go more than that. Anyway, I think if you understand that mouth is neutral, stomach is acidic 1.5, and in pancreas produce juice, alkaline nature for small intestine for digestion of fat and lipid. Is this understood? I think my job is done. Okay, how nature has designed so beautifully. Why three different things are? Pancreas also got exocrine as well as endocrine functions. Endocrine functions I've already spoken about under endocrine glands, where diabetes is associated with insulin and glucose. More insulin will make sure that excess glucose in the blood is converted into glycogen and deposited in the liver, and if it's less, it could become diabetes otherwise. We are not going into the endocrine functions of the pancreas at this juncture. We are talking only at digestive functions for pancreas for small intestines. So what are the different enzymes which play an important role in digestion? Are amylase, same alpha amylase what was there, comes here with a carbohydrate digestion to convert into glucose. Chymotrypsin, protein enzyme precursor. Deoxyribonuclease, nucleic acid enzymes. Lipase, lipid enzyme. Procarboxypeptidase A and B, protein enzyme precursor. Proelastase, protein enzyme precursor. Phospholipase A2, lipid enzyme precursor. Procolipase, lipid enzyme precursor. Ribonuclease, nucleic acid enzyme, and trypsinogen, protein enzyme precursor. These are the different enzymes which play an important role in the final digestion of all the three: carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and even nitrogen products. We are not talking of only proteins, even nitrogen products, including all the nucleic acids, are also brought in this particular thing. You can see ribonuclease, pronucleate, etc. So from that angle, exocrine function of pancreas plays very important role to complete the digestion of everything in the small intestine, getting things from pancreas done. So point number one, which has been highlighted very clearly, you need an alkaline medium for digestion of lipids, and that is provided by pancreas, and also bile, which is also required for conversion of digestion and absorption of fats and lipids, is provided with the liver. Liver and pancreas work as the complementary parts of the digestive system, and both come and play a role into duodenum. That is also something very interesting, come to close and placed very closely over there. From that angle, we can definitely say both liver and pancreas are very important role with respect to fat, lipid, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and further work. Having understood that, now let's move on to the next stage, which need to be understood completely so that we understand the functions of pancreas very, very clear. Cyclic functions of pancreas, as I told you over and over again, you can see bile coming into the duodenum, and of course vagal stimulations to take care of pancreas to produce the enzymes from acini for this. At the same time, endocrine system of insulin and glucagon to make sure it is perfectly well taken care, to make sure that you do not suffer from diabetes. Ratio of insulin in glucagon has to be in Dirac ratio if you do not want to have problem of diabetes at all. 1 into 1.618034. If that is done, done. At the same time, this also will make sure what is in the mind when the food comes has a role here. When it comes to the mouth, what is role? It is a role here. When it comes to stomach, acidic medium, what role it has got? It has a role here. When food comes to duodenum, what is the role? You can see here. When food goes to small intestine, what role it has is also can be seen here. So that's why this particular picture becomes very, very important from A to Z in completely understanding how things work as a unison in the gastrointestinal system, starting right from lips to teeth to the tongue to salivary glands, and of course other systems of the mouth, nasopharynx, oropharynx, glossopharynx, esophagus. Right up to that, it is involuntary movement. After that becomes involuntary completely. Before it is completely voluntary, and then taken care by skeletal muscles. From esophagus onward, it becomes smooth muscles, involuntary, and things automatically happen, and peristaltic movement will make sure that it goes down without having a reverse at all. No Udana Purana is required when you have perfectly healthy functioning gastrointestinal system. Please keep it in mind, Udana Purana is not recommended in day-to-day life. It should not come to play a role in anyone's life. And whatever is the cause for that, you got to find it out and then reduce that and move on to the completely perfectly peristaltic movement, no anti-peristaltic movement. So one of the reasons why I'm talking about that is because Kundalini syndrome, one of the commonest cause is Udana Prana. It should be avoided, not to be emphasized in any way. From that angle, acid from stomach releases secretin, wall of duodenum, fats, amino acids cause release of cholecystine, that is one part. Vagal stimulation is from acini for digestion. Secretin causes copious secretion of pancreatic juice and bicarbonate. Cholecystine causes secretion of enzymes, and secretin and cholestatin absorbed into the bloodstream to be circulated again. Once this picture is completely understood, you know very well the role played by liver as far as bile salts are concerned, and their use for digestion of the fat and breakdown is important. And pancreas with respect to alkaline medium, exocrine enzymes, and complete digestion in GIT is well taken care of. These two play a very important role. They should not be put as a supplementary part. It should have been a part of digestive system from the day one itself. Without the pancreatic portal system, our portal system of GIT from albumin down from jejunum right into the liver, all the absorption and assimilation taking place on one side, things wouldn't have been understood and implemented completely. So please try to understand completely. You got to understand structure from A to Z one by one so that we understand what exactly is happening within the digestive system for digestion. Having understood right up to this, before we go on to the next stage, let me put an end and then take you to the next stage. And this picture, I'm not going to talk again. We are literally come to 21 minutes. I don't think I would like to concentrate much on this. We will talk about it later when time comes. So as and now, let me say, it has been a lovely talking to you, bringing those aspects which are normally not spoken in one part. So the entire series of digestive system, many things which are associated from pancreas to liver to mouth to this A to Z is with respect to ancient Indian wisdom and modern sciences. All the detail which is to be understood would be explained step by step. From that angle, let it be. Thank you very much. It has been lovely talking to you. Thank you.